Elden Ring is a From Software game, whose genre consists of Soulsborne games. These games range in story and weapons, taking place in a world of hunters, chosen undead, ashen ones, and tarnished. The goals of these games vary. Defeat a boss, max your character out, obtain a certain item, but they all share one thing in common amongst the player base: speedrunning. Speedrunning in itself is a game in its own league. It is difficult to explain as there are so many different routes, rules, and allowances. The speedrunning community in Elden Ring diversifies itself with categories like any percent unrestricted, any percent no wrong warp, and all remembrances. If an activity is unrestricted, you are free to do it in the way that you want, without being limited by any rules, with your imagination open to find ways to glitch, fly, and get to endgame zones early. This is the definition of any percent unrestricted. Today we will be going over the insanity of the Elden Ring speedrun community and how certain players have broken the game in ways that you would have never come close to expecting in a video game. On February 25th, 2022, Elden Ring was launched as a massive success, selling over 12 million copies in under a month. With such a dense player base and so much input being registered into the game, something was bound to be found. And it was. In March, a teleportation glitch referred to as the Zip was discovered. The Zip, only being replicable on PC, requires immense timing and positioning to pull off. The player is required to hold the block button for 129 to 135 frames, as well as press the W or S movement key during a window of between 4 to 10 frames. If released on the 139th frame, you will be launched across the world. This is where any percent unrestricted speedrunners became known and dominant, running rampant for those who can make it to the end boss and complete the game in a certain time. Niko Bellic, a player with pure skill and determination, without dying a single time, managed to set the very first Elden Ring speedrunning world record with a time of 2 hours and 35 minutes. But as speedruns and games go, this was only the beginning for Elden Ring, as a new weapon was about to take the throne from Niko Bellic forever: the Horfrost Stomp era. This meta in the community was renowned as the first speedrunner tool used to get to the end game quickly. A weapon known as the Ice Rind Hatchet was found in the area of the game known as Liurnia of the Lakes. This weapon provided a special ability, better known as an Ash of War, that stomped the ground, dealing damage in front of the player. And it was broken. The damage that came from the weapon was completely unintended, as equipping a secondary weapon with an Ash of War known by Royal Knight's Resolve would boost the damage by a whopping 80%. Bosses were being killed left and right in under a minute or even seconds by players. This weapon became best friends with the speedrunners, and the first record using this weapon was placed by Lil Aggie, shattering Niko Bellic's record by almost 1 hour and 30 minutes. Lil Aggie had used the Ice Rind Hatchet, while Niko used a simple sword and shield with the Ash of War Stormblade, a weapon that did 3 times less damage and had vastly shorter range. Aggie rushed through every boss with ease, taking time down further and further until he hit a record of 59:38, improving over double of what Niko could pull off the day prior. But there was just one issue with Aggie's run, which had nothing to do with Aggie himself or Niko, but a man renowned amongst the Souls community, the final frontier to speedrunners from Dark Souls 2 and beyond: Distortion 2. Without hesitation and maximum efficiency, Distortion slammed Aggie's record with a massive 10 minutes improvement, marking his time using the same method at 49:29. Using a teleportation glitch known as Wrong Warp, which teleported you to an intended game area, speedrunners learned you could use a suicide method that allowed you to reach an unintended area that was the end game of Elden Ring. This glitch saved massive time for Distortion, as he smashed his own records, with times like 37:15, 36:20, 33:55, and even 28:59, a sub-30 run with barely any use of glitches and extremely efficient routes. But then, the Elden Ring community discovered the Zip. This changed speedrunning in the game forever. The Zip era. When you set your resolution to extremely low, perfected the frames, then launched yourself, you could reach areas hours ahead of your intended time in a matter of seconds. With use of the zip, Distortion was able to clock in at 25:29, a whole 3 minutes and 30 seconds quicker than his original. But that wasn't enough for Distortion, as he got his time down to 17:43, a huge improvement from his last. Doing what the Elden Ring community does best, with immense research and speculation, they had produced a monstrosity, the Mega Zip. The zips were extremely hardware dependent, making most players obsolete for being able to perform this zip. But the Mega Zip, oh, it is a massive improvement if you have the hardware. This zip relied on doing the same as mentioned before, but this time walk forward again within a 12 to 14 frame window to get launched quadruple the speed, making it much more effective. The difference between the last runs and these runs is that he isn't killing the boss. Rather, he is falling from an immense height to outlast the bosses that are also falling, attacking mid-air at a perfect position to prolong his inevitable death by 8 seconds, allowing time and time again to kill bosses without even touching them. Distortion held the record for the any % unrestricted speedrun with normal zips and mega zips for an extremely short time of 6 minutes and 59 seconds. But he was beaten by Seeker with a time of 6 minutes 46 seconds just 1 day prior to recording this. The speedrun community is not over with zipping, as the next goal Seeker has is a sub 630, and after that, who knows what the community will get down to for time. This is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, as this has been a huge project of mine for covering this topic. I will be streaming over on twitch.tv/SeanEasy every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 11 PM PST. I appreciate all of the support I've been receiving, as I would have never expected such a drastic change in viewership and support, and I truly cannot thank you all for watching my content. And as always, thanks and have a wonderful day.